My name is Julian Treasure. I'm chairman of the sound agency, author of the book Sound Business, and I have 4 talks on TED.com all about sound, which have been seen by something like 7 million people. So you could say I'm passionate about sound. This is my second time in Moscow, but the previous time was a one-day visit, which is a particularly crazy thing to do from London. So it's been nice to be here for a few days, notwithstanding the snow. Well, I got the joy actually of travelling on the metro, which is fantastic. I mean, people come here, it's a tourist attraction, unlike London's tube. It also sounds a heck of a lot better than London's tube because the stations are big and expansive places. So I really enjoyed that experience actually. The trains are pretty quiet, the stations sound good. I enjoyed it a great deal. You know, compared to the Bakerloo line at Waterloo Station, I can tell you it's a real joy. Traffic, not so much of a joy in Moscow, but it doesn't make too much noise, I suppose, since it's generally travelling quite slowly. Well, I think we've talked a great deal in the Congress about some very interesting next steps for the industry, mobile, the sound of products, the sound of the internet, and these things came up through the day and in the panel discussion in particular. So we've covered the next big thing, and I tell you what I think the big thing that's come out of today is I have a sense of the industry maturing. The quality of the 6 finalists was fantastic. The complexity of the projects that they undertook was wonderful. I really have a sense that we are becoming an industry with a lot of clout, and the next thing to me is for us all to get together and start harnessing that clout to get taken really seriously by the world's biggest brands. Well, for the sound agency, it's definitely in retail. We're absolutely setting about transforming the sound of retail. So I'm extremely excited that the top 2, the gold and the silver awards, were actually for retail sound in shopping malls, which is exactly what we are concerned with all the time. But apart from retail, I think probably in product sound, I really do believe voice is going to play a big role in this. So we'll be talking to the Internet of Things, we'll be talking to everything, and things will be talking back to us. Not all individually, they'll be moderated, we'll have channels, you know, we'll probably have one voice. But the question is, what's that voice going to be like? What sounds are things going to make? I'm a great opponent of the beep. And I think if the audio branding industry can do one thing in the next 10 years, it's to get beeps replaced with something a lot more interesting. I loved the case studies this year, actually. I really did. I mean, the morning was fascinating, but the case studies were really humbling, actually, and the professionalism, the skill, the dedication, the passion that went into them, it was absolutely brilliant. It made me proud to be part of this industry. Well, we had a lot of Russian speakers here, and it was fascinating to hear the guy from the Advertising Association of Russia, who was on the panel at the end, saying that the government is just considering legislation to limit, I think he said, excessive sound in advertising and marketing, whatever excessive is. So it reminds us that in many of the countries we work in, we're very fortunate that we don't have to fight through the red tape that our friends in Russia do have to fight through. But it was wonderful to see them here, to see them learn. I mean, they were lapping this up. You know, they were seeing cases that perhaps they'd never considered. I think we've opened their minds, and I think Russia's an exciting new market. So hopefully this Congress will have left its mark permanently here, and that's a very exciting thing. It's a joy to see this progress. You know, the work that Kai, Rainer and Cornelius put in is astounding. What they've created, I think, is a very, very important thing. It's a focus for our industry, and in the fullness of time, I think it will help us to have standards. It'll help us to have a uniform way of treating, and it may even do the holy grail of this thing, which is that we pool our resources and we generate some really effective research to prove that what we do has a great return. When we get to that stage, I will be so happy. And this Congress is a huge part of that process. Us all coming together is vital for cross-fertilization, for swapping the ideas and the best practice, and just for believing that what we do actually matters. So this must continue. It's a fantastic initiative, and it's been a joy to see it grow again this year.